All right, let's now shift our attention to the other big story that we are tracking on WION. The question that is at the back of the mind of a lot of people around the world is Russia getting prepared for a war with Ukraine? Now, there's been a massive troop build-up along Ukraine's border, and there's also been a new missile test. And the US-Russia tensions remain at an all-time high. But if we were to go by Vladimir Putin's words, then Moscow does not want a conflict with Ukraine, at least not presently. For now, though, a ceasefire has been reached between the Ukrainian government and the pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine and Russia have blamed each other for the recent violations of the previous ceasefire, which was agreed upon in the month of July last year. The current situation in the Donbas region remains very volatile. Therefore, this ceasefire has been welcomed by all sides. Now, just last week, Russia presented the West with some pretty sweeping security demands. It has said that NATO must not admit new members. Moscow has said that Ukraine joining the military alliance is a clear red line for Moscow. The other demand was for the United States to stop establishing new bases in the former Soviet nations. For Russia, the onus is now on the West, and it must provide Moscow with some security guarantees to avoid a confrontation. So what does the United States think of these proposals? Now, Washington has said that it is willing to discuss some of them, but it has called a few proposals to be simply unacceptable. The United States has also insisted that the European allies must be a part of the talks. For Putin, this willingness to discuss the proposals is a positive sign. Now, Russia has said that Washington is ready for talks in Geneva, and reports also suggest that they'll begin these talks by next month. Putin has said that representatives from both sides have been appointed. Tensions have been slowly building over Ukraine since the middle of November. This was when Washington sounded an alarm due to the massive Russian troop build-up along the border with Ukraine. The Russian forces were seen training near the Ukrainian border. This as it also carried out a successful launch of the Zircon hypersonic missile. The fresh satellite images captured by a US company show that Russia has continued to build up its forces, especially near the annexed Crimean region. For Vladimir Putin, any Ukrainian rhetoric is about nostalgia, a generational nostalgia for the old empire, the Soviet Union. Vladimir Putin was a KGB operative for the Soviet Union. He has described the collapse of the Soviet Union 3 decades ago as the greatest geopolitical disaster of the 20th century. This is where the root of this conflict lies. No part of the Soviet Union is more important than Ukraine. For most Russians, it's actually the crown jewel. Its deep cultural and linguistic ties to Russia and its position between Moscow and the EU makes it even more crucial. It all boils down to Moscow's unwillingness to accept Ukraine's independence. When Russia had annexed Crimea back in 2014, it was a turning point, the beginning of an undeclared war between the two sides. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.